Hmm.
Okay, so this next topic is a little bit more on the sensitive topic side, but it's a very real um, issue that couples face, and it's in the relation or in regards to sexual fulfillment.
Hmm.
So, you know how men and women are obviously wired differently.
Hmm.
You know, what happens if one spouse, say for example, needs to feel fulfilled 5 times a day, where the other one, okay, so that's an extreme, maybe
Oh, oh,
five
only five?
daily versus the other one, you know, really does not want to do it more than, you know, once every couple weeks.
Hmm.
You know, you at the same time you don't want to drive your spouse to adultery,
Hmm.
but you know, you also want to be able to have your own needs. And I
Hmm.
know the Bible says you need to submit your body to your spouse once you're married. So,
Hmm.
can you kind of talk about what that really looks like,
Yeah.
being able to compromise, but
It's,
also,
that's that's reality. I like talking about reality because I think sexual fulfillment is not only in frequency. The sexual fulfillment is much more than the number of times as it is the depth of it, even if it's even if it's once a week. So a lot of people are missing out. And let me start by saying that the world has made sexuality dirty. God never intended for it to be dirty, and in His eyes, it is not dirty. So, you know, the intimacy that we experience as married couples, only as married couples, right? That's the benefit of being married. You know, it's just like the benefit of working at State Farm is that you get medical and dental and vision and all that. You don't get those benefits if you don't work there. And so sexual fulfillment is a benefit that we get from marriage. If you're not married, you don't get those benefits. You got to get employed first, and you need to be married first. Um, but the world has made that so dirty where God has already said that the marriage bed is undefiled. I'm going to read this verse in Hebrews 13, verse 4. He says, marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure. For God will judge the adulterer and all the sexual immoral. So let's talk about what that means, that yes, we're wired differently. I often wondered, God, why did you make us so different? Because we are in opposite ends of the spectrum. And the only thing that comes to mind, and I believe is really the heart of God, the reason why God made men and women so different when it comes to their sexuality is because it makes us try a whole lot harder. It makes me, watch this, because I'm wired differently than my wife, what it makes me do is it makes me come into an intimate moment with her as the forefront and not me. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? It makes us come into the relationship. So she's the forefront. I'll give you the perfect example from Jesus. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 20, he says, for even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and give his life a ransom for many, right? So if we're the model of Christ, and Jesus said, don't come here to serve me, I'm here to serve you. When we get to intimacy, shouldn't that be the same? Think about it. Now, watch this. Watch this. Wouldn't it be great if all the couples left here and went home, and during that intimate moment during the day or tonight, the husband says, I'm going to do everything to please you the best I can. And the wife says, no, you're not. I'm going to outdo you. And the husband said, no, I'm going to outdo you. No, I'm going to outplease you. No, I'm going to outplease you. Watch what I do. Perfect relationship, isn't it? Because that's the heart of God, that I'm not for myself, I'm for you.
We'd have a few more babies back there for
Oh,
sure.
that's good, good, good. We can expand. But that's what it's about. It's about having the heart of God. So when it comes to a member of the relationship who is not being fulfilled in that area, I think the first thing we want to do is communicate. We never communicate. We just take it and then we go, girl, you know what he tried to do yesterday? Well, it sure didn't work. You know, you telling the wrong person. You know, you going to your job. You telling your girlfriends on your job. Well, he got it all, but let me tell you, he ain't got nothing because I just wasn't. It wasn't happening. I didn't. Whatever the case may be, we don't communicate. And I think the first thing we need to do is we need to communicate sensitive issues to our spouse. That's a sensitive issue. And it doesn't have to be condemning. It could be very loving. It could say, you know, I would really like if you did this. Oh, and I would really like if you did this. Don't raise your hands, but when was the last time any one of our husbands or wives said that? Because everybody's like, well, we won't talk about that. Well, you know, we just let happen what happened. No, we need to talk about it. It could be something as simple as communication. You know, where you go, you know what? 10 times a day is a little bit too much. Can we back it off to 8? Okay, yeah, we could do that. Whatever the case, let's talk about it. And then the second part of that is let's change the perspective. The perspective changes. I'm not in it to get what I can get. I'm in it to get what I can give. Because intimacy is the highest moment in which one could express love to another. And so, if it's the highest moment, it ought to be that I'm in it to please my wife, and my wife is in it to please me.
Amen. You know, it reminded me of the verse that talks about, in all thy ways, acknowledge him. You know, during the first few years of our marriage,
Uh-oh.
I came to realize one thing. I said, oh, dang, is this what marriage is? Gee, this is too much. I did not know that.